Welcome back, gentlemen. Welcome back to the Cigar Cypher podcast, where smoke meets conversation, culture meets craftsmanship, and the men who lead with vision light up with purpose. I am your host, David. And today, we're stepping into one of the most underrated arenas for success, one of the most overlooked establishments for connection and legacy building. And what might that be, you ask? The Cigar Lounge. That's right. We're talking about the social power of the cigar lounge and networking over smoke. Whether you walk into the lounge for relaxation, business, or the brotherhood, you're doing more than just lighting a cigar. You're building community, planting seeds, forging deals, and writing your story in oak chairs and leather sofas.
This podcast is a Buenos Dias Media production.
Welcome to the Cigar Cypher, the podcast where the rich aroma of tobacco meets the spark of conversation. Let us guide you through the captivating world of cigars. Whether you're a seasoned aficionado or just curious about your first puff, this is your invitation to join the Cypher.
Make way for the new kings of cigar media, the Cigar Cypher.
So before we jump in, make sure you subscribe to the podcast on your favorite platform. Hit that 5-star review if you're enjoying the ride. And follow us on Instagram and Facebook at the Cigar Cypher for behind the scenes reels, pictures, content, and so much more. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and iHeartRadio for your audio pleasure. Or for your video pleasure, you can look for us and subscribe on YouTube or Rumble, or both. So make sure to subscribe, follow, share with your brothers and sisters of the leaf, share and drop a comment. You know how we do. All right, ladies and gentlemen, light up, lean back, and let's explore the lounge.
The views and opinions expressed by the host, guest, and/or participants of this show do not necessarily reflect the opinions of Buenos Dias Media LLC, its associates, partners, and show sponsors. The content is intended for entertainment purposes and should not be construed as professional advice. Listener discretion is advised.
So let's set up the moment correctly and start, first of all, with our cigar spotlight or cigar highlight of this week's Cigar Cypher, brought to you by thegentleman'storch.com. Whether you're signing deals, chasing dreams, or just unwinding, everyone deserves that moment of luxury without the luxury price tag. So light up, level up with thegentleman'storch.com, where affordability meets class. So what are we highlighting today? Today's spotlight cigar is a heavyweight in prestige and flavor, the Don Pepin Garcia ERH, also known as El Rey de los Habanos. This is not just a cigar, it's a legacy. And we enjoyed a Robusto, 5-inch by 54 ring gauge. They also have the Toro version at 6 by 52. Manufactured at my father's under Jose Pepin Garcia. Both filler and binder are Nicaraguan tobacco sourced from Garcia's farm. Wrapper is an Ecuador Sumatra Rosado Oscuro, sometimes listed as Sumatra Rosado or Sumatra Rosado Oscuro. According to some reviews, the ERH offers a complex medium to full body experience. The top or early notes are pepper and spice, mid smoke, right? Second, third. A little more of leather, roasted almond, and cedar. And to finish up, you can enjoy some deep flavors of espresso, dark chocolate, with a long, warm, and rich conclusion. It is described as layered with leather, dark chocolate, spice, and a touch of earth on the finish. A tribute blend that honors its namesake. I do find it to be a bit earthy. I mean, I actually enjoy that taste. It reminds me of another cigar that I will not mention right now, but I really enjoy them. Construction-wise, it scores very high. In one review, it was rated a 9.5 out of 10 for build quality. It has a solid burn and draw with even ash and reliable stability over the smoke. The approximate burn time for a Robusto like this 5x54 is expected around 45 to 60 minutes, depending on your smoking pace and conditions, and I guess how deep in conversation you are. It was rated a 92 by Cigar Aficionado for this Robusto. The cigar pairs beautifully with some small batch bourbon, its leather and dark chocolate notes completely aged whiskey. It also pairs with espresso or dark roast coffee. The richness amplifies as the flavors deepen. Or peated scotch for a smoky and spice kind of evening. Some reviewers specifically cite espresso and spicy coffee as ideal companions. I personally had it with an old-fashioned, and I gotta say, no complaints here. It was just that great. For this Robusto, you can find it at an MSRP of $9 for a single or $160 for a box of 20, which brings the single price to about $8 per cigar. The ERH 2025 is a masterclass in legacy blending. Pepin Garcia isn't just rolling a cigar, he's honoring his roots while pushing forward with Nicaraguan craftsmanship. The flavor is complex enough for seasoned smokers, but the balance makes it approachable, ideal for deep conversations, reflective moments, or connecting with fellow aficionados who appreciate his story in every puff. So head on over and support the culture from farmers to retailers. Visit your local brick and mortar and patron your local businesses. And of course, you can also search for other small businesses like thegentleman'storch.com. All right. So now that we've gotten that out the way, let's get into the nitty gritty. First things first. What is a cigar lounge? It's not just a place to smoke. But make no mistake, we are here to smoke. But it's also a hub of ritual, respect, reflection, and yes, networking. My brothers and sisters, picture this. You walk into the lounge, the door opens, that signature cedar rope tobacco aroma hits you, and you immediately know this is somewhere different. It's not just a bar, it's not just a club, it's a society of men and women who know the value of time, conversation, craft, and quiet power. In the lounge, the rules shift. A handshake matters. The draw from your cigar is your voice. The conversations float between flavor notes and future plans. Because here, deals are brokered over ash. Ideas shared over puffs. Relationships forged in smoke-filled rooms. So you gotta ask yourself, why does this work? Well, because the lounge removes the constraints of the boardroom. No PowerPoint, no deadlines, just rich tobacco, good whiskey or coffee, and real talk. That's the social power of the lounge. So let's look at 3 key aspects of lounge networking. Right? We have atmosphere and ambience. The settling speaks. The wood and leather say serious business with style. It also says classy, but since there's no pressure, it becomes kind of casual. We also have the shared ritual. When you cut, toast, and smoke together, you share a moment, and shared moments build trust. And you also have the intentional engagement. You didn't just come to smoke, you came to connect. Okay, so let's take a quick break and we'll continue to dig deeper into each one of these as we discuss the social power of the cigar lounge and networking over smoke. This is the Cigar Cypher podcast, brought to you by thegentleman'storch.com.
Looking to connect with like-minded men who share your drive for success and passion for the finer things in life? Welcome to the Apex Gentlemen's Guild, a private members club for men who value ambition, camaraderie, giving back, and personal growth. For a limited time while we're fully remote, you can join the guild for free. Gain access to tons of motivational content, exclusive events, insightful discussions, and a network of high-performance individuals. Don't miss this chance to elevate your social circle. Request to join today at facebook.com/groups/Apex Gentlemen's Guild, or give us a like at facebook.com/Apex Gentlemen's Guild. The Apex Gentlemen's Guild, excellence forged in unity.
We want to take a moment to shout out the Cigar Rights of America, the CRA. One of the very few organizations protecting your right to light up without government overreach. And you know how we've all seen how that's become normalized. So head over to cigarrights.org to become a member today. Support the leaf, defend the culture.
This is the Modern Beat Podcast, where voice, vulnerability, and victory meet. I'm Leilani.
And I'm Michelle. We're two friends having the real conversations women actually need about healing, hustle, motherhood, love, money, and the patterns we know too well.
No pretending here. Just honest stories, expert gems, and practical tools so you can feel seen and move forward.
If you ever felt silenced, judged, or just tired of carrying it all, you're home. Pull up a chair.
New episodes are short enough for your commute, deep enough to change your week.
Hit follow on Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and Spotify. Share this with your sisters, your group chat. Your future self will thank you.
The Modern V.
The Modern V.
Voice, vulnerability,
victory.
victory.
Gentlemen, this one's for you. Whether you're signing deals, chasing dreams, or just unwinding after a long day, your cigar should match your grind. At thegentleman'storch.com, we bring you premium cigars, boutique blends, and curated sample packs, all without the premium price. Because class isn't about the label, it's about the standard you set. From CEOs to 9-to-5ers, every man deserves that moment, that taste of excellence. So light up, level up, and let your story burn slow. Visit thegentleman'storch.com, where affordability meets class and every smoke means something. The Gentleman's Torch. Light up, level up.
Hi, this is Kevin B. Cloth. You're listening to the Cigar Cypher podcast.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Cigar Cypher podcast, a Buenos Dias media production. So let's continue by talking about advantages over everyday networking spots. You have ambience, immediate trust, and shared interests. When we look at ambience, think about it. When you walk into the lounge, the noise level's lower, especially if you live in a city. The lighting is softer, and the vibe is intentionally elevated. And that reduces distraction and raises presence. You're not competing with a blaring TV or impatient background chatter, unless it's a sport event happening. It can get a little rowdy sometimes. But you're in a space that invites meaningful conversation. When two men sit down with cigars, there's a tacit understanding. They share rituals. They respect craftsmanship. That shared behavior builds trust instantly and trust opens doors. Then when we look at the shared interests, right? Maybe you've got a new venture. Maybe you're searching for mentorship. Maybe you just want to meet a fellow founding father of ambition. In the lounge, you're surrounded by people who appreciate quality, legacy, and purpose. So you've already got common ground. And here's how to make the most of it. Do your homework. Know the lounge's vibe, the usual crowd, the cool down hours. Start with your cigar. Start a great conversation, right? Which usually starts with the draw. Ask meaningful questions. What is your next move? What's your legacy look like? But share value. Bring a knowledge nugget, an intro, a story. Don't just ask and take, but also give. And exit with the next step, right? You can say things like, let's connect again, and maybe share a box next month. Remember, my brothers and sisters, you're not just smoking, you're planting seeds. So, I also brought you guys a cheat sheet for doing lounge networking right. Let's take a look at some of the do's and don'ts of cigar lounge networking. We're not talking about the cigar lounge etiquette, which we've done before. We're talking about the do's and don'ts of cigar lounge networking. The do's: do arrive early or when you're relaxed, not rushed. You're rushing all week, right? You're dealing with the day-to-day stuff. And again, especially if you live in a city, a loud and noisy and crowded city. But now it's time to be present and take your time. Same way you should be present with your kids. But when it's the me time at the lounge, also you need to be present and take your time. Do introduce yourself to the staff and regulars. Respect the house. Staff should be treated with the same respect as a CEO. The truth is, you never know who you'll meet at the lounge. Do offer a smoke. Share a good stick. Generosity wins respect, my friends. Do move around. Don't lock into one corner unless you own it. I mean, this is one I gotta work on, right? Because once I'm in the zone, I only get up either for another cigar or a drink or the bathroom. Besides that, I'm like in the zone, in my corner with my cigar. Do follow up after your conversation with a maybe let's meet again next week. Now let's look at the don'ts. Don't walk in like you own the place. You are a guest. Don't dominate the conversation with your phone or your ego. Don't light a cigar that's going to knock everyone else out unless everyone else is doing the same. Don't turn off the vibe with loud music or games when it's meant to be a lounge and peaceful ambience. Don't leave without saying thanks to the staff or the owner or fellow smokers. Stay in good standing. Lounge environments aren't just for smoking. They're arenas for legacy building. You behave like a leader in that space and you'll get treated like one. I need to say that again because I love this line. You behave like a leader in that space and you'll get treated like one. Another benefit can be turning smoke sessions into opportunities. Let's look at how to convert these lounge moments into real opportunities. One can be a mini agenda. Before you go in, have an objective. Meet one new person, learn one new thing, or at least share one story. Another one is to lead with value. Bring something to the table, an intro, a tip, a cigar you weren't expecting. And another one is to respect time. When you're making a new contact, 1 hour max, right? Resume later if it flows. And then there's follow through. Drop a message the next day. Say thanks. Arrange the next cigars or coffee. You see, networking over smoke isn't random, it's intentional. And the cigar lounge is your battlefield, but in a good way. You're forging alliances, building trust, and creating a tribe. So there you have it, the social power of the cigar lounge, networking over smoke. Next time you walk into that lounge, remember, you're not just lighting a cigar, you're lighting a conversation, an opportunity, a legacy. If you got value today, hit subscribe, drop a 5-star review, and share this episode with your circle. Get your brothers in on it. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook at The Cigar Cypher. Leave us your lounge stories. Send in your photos of your sessions, your connections, and we can share them on a future episode. Remember that we're available on YouTube, Rumble, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. I am David, reminding all of you, keep your ash long, your focus sharp, and your network wider than your smoke ring. Until next time, light with purpose, my friends. This is the Cigar Cypher podcast, brought to you by thegentleman'storch.com.